Data Analytics by Rachel Vibert. The topics of my presentation today are: what is data analytics, some of the types of data analytics, the process, some of the benefits, what are insights, and then some real-world examples. So what is data analytics? Data analytics refers to qualitative and quantitative techniques and processes used to enhance productivity and business gain. Data is categorized to identify and analyze behavioral data and patterns. Some of the goals of data analytics are to identify strengths and weaknesses, cut costs, and increase gains. So what are the types of data analytics? There are 4 types of data analytics. There's descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. And as my picture on the side shows, that as you get farther up, the more value is contributed, but also the more complex the type of data analytics gets. So what are the 4 types of data analytics and what do they mean? So descriptive analytics, the question that you ask yourself with descriptive analytics is what happened? So it provides insight based on past information. So this means that the data is gathered, the data of what happened in the past is gathered, and just the descriptive just answers what happened. It doesn't answer why or anything else. It just answers specifically what happened. Diagnostic, on the other hand, would answer why did it happen. So it examines the cause of past results. So once you get the descriptive data analyzed, then you can use the diagnostic data analytics and then be able to answer not just what happened, but why it happened. Next is predictive, and then the question you ask for that is what will happen next. So predictive analytics assists in understanding the future and provides foresight by identifying patterns in historical data. So again, what will happen next, and then when and why. So it's like the name predictive. It's supposed to predict what will happen based on the descriptive data and the diagnostic data. And then finally, we have prescriptive. And the question that you ask yourself for that one is, what should I do? So it assists in identifying the best option to choose to achieve the desired outcome through optimization techniques and machine learning. So it uses, again, this optimization techniques and machine learning in order to figure out some next steps that a company could take to improve what they found in their data, in their descriptive data analytics, diagnostic, and predictive. So it's kind of just like future data. So they're able to understand what's going to happen in the future, and then even try to figure out something that they should do, not just what will happen next, but then what should I do. So there's a couple methods of data analytics. The first is data mining, and this involves sorting through large data sets to identify trends, patterns, and relationships. So it's kind of just, there could be like a huge set of data, and data mining would kind of make it feel a little smaller and easier to understand by identifying some of the trends, patterns, and relationships in that very large set of data. Predictive analytics, which seeks to predict customer behavior, equipment failures, and other future events. So like I said in the last slide, predictive analytics, so it's the data that it's found is important because it can help predict customer behavior or equipment failures, and that, you know, if a company can foresee that in the future, like foresee an event like that, that can be a very big deal because they can take steps to change, you know, if it's a positive customer behavior or a negative customer behavior, they can adjust their behavior in order to suit the customer needs. Or also, like, if the equipment's going to fail, they can do something ahead of time to make sure that that doesn't happen. Next would be text mining, which provides a means of analyzing documents, emails, and other text-based content. So it's kind of what it sounds like. So if you have a big thing, a big document or a big body of text, text mining can easily go through it and pick things out. And then finally, big data analytics. Big data analytics applies data mining and predictive analytics tools to sets of big data that often contain unstructured and semi-structured data. So big data analytics takes huge things of data and then, you know, uses these different techniques in order to like sift through all the data. And like I said, the data is a lot of times like unstructured, so it could just kind of be like a big list of numbers, and then this big data analytics can kind of make sense of that big list of numbers. So next, we'll talk about the process of data analytics. And so the first step in data analytics would be data collection, because you can't analyze data without collecting the data. So data collection is where data scientists identify the information they need for a particular analytics application and then work on their own or with data engineers and IT staff to assemble it for use. So these data scientists have to go out, get the data in order to analyze it, and then they have to sort it, they have to assemble it for use. So they have to put it in a logical order in order for it to be analyzed. So then the next step would be to find and fix data quality problems that could affect the accuracy of analytics applications. And so basically what that is just making sure that a data set is consistent and that errors and errors and duplicate entries are eliminated. So anything wrong in the data, any mistakes or anything like that should be sifted out at this time. And then also if there's more than one data entry of the same data entry, then that would be fixed, because there's no point in having duplicate data entries. And then the next step is to build and apply the analytical model. So basically that just means like what I was talking about in the last slides, those methods. Data scientist would have to build one of those methods or models and then be able to apply it to the data that they had collected earlier. So, and then finally in the process, you have to express data via charts and graphs for decision making. So like, once you build your model and apply your model and you get your information, you know, you have to be able to put it in terms, these data scientists have to be able to put it in terms for the executives to understand, or for, you know, anyone who needs information to understand, so that they can do what they need to do properly. So they can put this data into graphs or charts, and then from there, the executives can make their decisions. So it has to be very clear and easy to understand so that the right decision can be made when the time comes. It doesn't seem like it's as a very important step, but it is a very important step because, you know, if you could do all this work, all this data analytic work, you can collect the data, you can fix the problems, and then build this model, get your information. But if it's not expressed and communicated well enough, then there was no point in doing all that. Next would be some of the benefits of data analytics. So it can improve efficiency. So data analytics initiatives can help businesses improve operational efficiency. So with the data that they collect, it can help them know where they're making some mistakes and where they can do things quicker, save time, and therefore save money. And then they can optimize marketing campaigns and customer service efforts. So with this big data, they can see if their marketing efforts and their customer service efforts are going where they want them to go or in doing what they want them to do. And then the companies are able to respond more quickly to emerging markets and gain a competitive edge over rivals by having a quicker response time. So the data that they're collecting can be collected very quickly and right away, and it can be analyzed very quickly. So this data is coming in, and they can get the answers right away, so they can respond quicker to any issues that they might have. And then finally, all of these things that I was talking about as benefits, all those things lead to an increase in revenue for the business if done right. So what are insights? Insight is the value obtained through the use of analytics. So kind of like the communication step that I was talking about, it's like what you learn from the data analytics. And then so for like an example, if you had an app, your data might tell you that you sent 14,000 notifications last month. And then that data doesn't mean a lot, but an analytics tool could help you understand that the data reveals that your app sent 3.7 messages per user. And that is a lot more helpful information than just that you sent 14,000. That doesn't tell you anything. But if you know that you sent 3.7 messages per user, and then also data analytics might be able to tell you maybe you had an opening rate of 20%. So 20% of the people opened it. That's helpful. And then this data can show you that your push notification resulted in an increase. So for example, like if you found like this data could help you find that maybe your profits increased by 14%. So if your profits increased by 14%, you had 3.7 messages or notifications per person, and it was a 20% opening rate. You can, from there, make decisions about maybe more per user, or how do we make the opening rate bigger? So this is just an example of what these insights can do for a company and how it can help them. So next, there's examples. So what are some examples of data analytics? And so banks and credit card companies can analyze withdrawal and spending patterns to prevent fraud and identity theft. So they have a bunch of data on how you normally spend on your debit card or credit card. And if something is weird and you wouldn't normally be buying something from somewhere in Idaho, then that might be a red flag to them, and they can help protect you against that. Next, e-commerce and marketing companies services providers do clickstream analysis to identify website visitors who are more likely to buy a particular product or service based on navigation and page viewing patterns. So this is helpful for companies because they can see what people are looking at on their website, or even what kind of websites they're looking at to show what they're interested in. It brings a lot of data about what the customer is looking at and what the customer wants. And then next, so data analytics can also help to segment customers for marketing campaigns or equip call center workers with up-to-date information about callers. So data analytics kind of gets companies a lot of data about the consumer, about just up-to-date information about things in their life, if they've moved, stuff like that. And then finally, healthcare organizations can mine patient data to evaluate the effectiveness of treatments for cancer and other diseases. So this is very important because it can help the data analytics in this situation can help doctors understand if certain treatments are working or not on a larger basis. So again, my topics of this presentation today were: what is data analytics? We talked about some of the types of data analytics, the methods, the process, some of the benefits, what are insights, and then some examples of data analytics. These are my sources, and thank you for watching my video.